Good evening. Um, I haven't been on in a while. It's been a minute. Uh, I've been just living life and taking things as it come. Um, there's been a lot that's been going on. Other we were down for 2 weeks, but we've managed to overcome. Thank God we didn't have to get admitted into the hospital or anything of that nature. I hope you all are doing well. These are some very trying times. I hope that you're healthy. I hope that your family is healthy. I hope that you are, you know, living life to the fullest as much as you can, and just practicing gratitude in spite of what is going on in the world, and grace. Do it all with grace. We only have this one life as we know it, in this body as we know it. If you choose to reincarnate, you don't know what you're going to look like, what your life would be like when you reincarnate, if you would be a human being, and so on and so forth. So just enjoy this as it is. All right, let's go on here to Whoopi Goldberg. Um, should ABC have suspended Whoopi Goldberg? Do you think that they made the right decision in suspending her? As far as I'm concerned, I would say no. They it wasn't a good decision. I think that they should have taken this time to make it a teachable moment. Whoopi Goldberg said that the Holocaust was not about race; it was about man's inhumanity to man. It wasn't about race. She was partially correct, very correct as far as man's inhumanity to man, because it was. What Hitler did was totally tragic. It was definitely treacherous. It was definitely inhumane to have done what he has done to those human beings. He also went on to kill all of the elders because he found that the elders had no value, had no more value, or people who were sick. So he was inhumane. So, we should give Whippy that respect. She has, as a matter of fact, she has earned that. It's nothing for us to give her. She has earned the respect in her saying that. And that actually covers the broad scale of what Hitler has done here. And also, we are seeing this type of behavior in today's time, not to that extent. However, people have lost their humanness in today's time. So I understand her reasoning for saying that. However, she was wrong or incorrect in saying that it was not about race, when in fact Hitler repeatedly said that Jewish people or the Jews were an inferior race. So that is something that we should not negate. It's in history. It is something that he has said repeatedly over and over and over, that they were an inferior race. Now let's strip that. Um, Whoopi saying that it's not about race. Could it be that in the information that Whoopi has now in 2022, that the people that Hitler have killed during the Holocaust were all people of European descent or European background? And how do you identify their race, right? So when I look up what Jewish is, or what is a Jew, Jewish is a person, or Jewish people are people who practice the Judaism religion. So Judaism is a religion. Calling or identifying yourself as a Jew is revealing that you live by the Judaism religion. Okay, so that's a religious identity. It's similar to a person identifying as Muslim, when there's Muslims of all racial and ethnic backgrounds. So, having a Muslim identity does not identify race and ethnicity. So, That's the same thing as my understanding with a person identifying as a Jew. It does not specify what race you really are, other than you follow the Judaism religion, right? So now, when I look up, because this for me, I see the silver lining in things, and when situations such as this or any situation comes about that seems to be complex and controversial, I always look for the moment to learn. What is it that I'm learning? What is it that I don't know? Because now there's a lot of controversy, and you have people from different sides saying facts that they remember and their opinions. When I hear all of that, I also hear in the middle where there could be balance, that there's some information that I don't know that I need to know here. Okay, so that's how I'm taking this. All right. So when I look up what are Jewish people, I've learned that they are EEJ of Eastern. There's Eastern European Jews, right? And they are Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. That's Ashkenazi. So Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi is a Jewish person of Central or Eastern European descent. More than 80% of Jewish people today are Ashkenazim. They preserve Palestinian rather than Babylonian Jewish traditions, and some still use Yiddish. Now, uh, being that 80% of the Jews today are still Ashkenazim, and they preserve Palestinian rather than Babylonian Jewish traditions, that brought me to questioning, well, what is Babylonian, right? So, Babylonia was a biblical Jewish homeland, one to which ancient Jews were exiled in the early 6th century by direction. All right, so in that, the question then becomes, who are the ancient Jews? Now, when I looked up who are the ancient Jews, the pictures I saw, many of pictures are painted pictures and depiction of people that have curly hair and a darker skin tone. They are the ancient Jews. So it says in history when I looked it up. And when I looked up pictures, the pictures of the ancient Jews that I saw, that's what I saw. Okay. So it's okay that let me not say it's okay. These people were exiled by direction. Okay. Then you have people who are Ashkenazi, or the Ashkenazim people of different European backgrounds, who incorporated the religion of Judaism and chose to identify as such. Now, I'm not sure why they did that, right? But this is something that they chose to do. When I looked further, there are countries that are part of the EEJ, which is Eastern European Jews. They are under the Polish Lithuanian Kingdom. So we're talking about, the countries are Russia, Poland, the Baltic states, Belarus, Moldavia, Moldova, which is northeastern part of Romania, and Ukraine. These are all European countries. But we have people from these countries. Not everyone in these respective countries are Jews, but we just have people who are from these countries who chose to accept the Judaism religion and identify themselves as a Jew, right? So, in that, being that all of these people are European, and having Hitler himself be from Russia, how can one determine the race when they're all European? Now, this is a very credible question that should be asked and we should discuss. How do we determine their race? Now, it leads me to asking this question: what is race? Right? When a Jewish person goes to fill out an application, because when I filled out job applications, I don't see an option where one can check off and as being a Jew, right? And being that you're a person is Jew, that's not a race or an ethnicity. It is a religious identity. So I don't understand how one can determine ethnic background or race by a religious identity. You know what I mean? So how does the Jewish population, what race do the Jewish population identify as? Or what ethnic background do they identify as other than calling themselves a Jew? When they have to, let's say, go for job applications or any type of conference or anything that requires that they have to be identified, what are they checking off on those applications or on those documents? All right. So here lies the complexity in why Whoopi said that it wasn't about race. And it's because she could not separate or see where they were different in race to Hitler because they were all European. So she was right for saying that because that act was truly um, a man's inhumanity to other man. But she should have also said that it was about race because Hitler repeatedly said that it was about race. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna if I'm repeating myself, but I will say this again. I don't know if Whoopi is implementing her understanding and trying to articulate her understanding about what race is today in 2022 versus what Hitler was trying to say back when the Holocaust happened, you know. So I can only assume or kind of say that Hitler was ignorant in saying that they were an inferior race because he repeatedly said it that they were an inferior race. However, they were all European. So maybe he wasn't intelligent enough to actually specify what he meant when he actually took the lives of that Jewish community during the Holocaust. Okay. Um, the other thing I looked up was there are six populations of Jews, right? So it's the EEJ, which is the Eastern European. There's the Moroccan Jews, Iraqi Jews, Iranian Jews, Yemenite Jews, and Ethiopian Jews. In that, I also saw where there's a partial list of Jewish population that's in Africa, right? So we're talking about the Beta Israel slash Falasha. They're in Ethiopia. Abayudia, which are in Uganda. Tutsi, which is in Rwanda. Rusapi, Zimbabwe. Lemba, South Africa. Sefwi Wiaso, which is in Ghana. Ashanti is in Ghana. Iwe, Ghana. Benai Ephraim, sons of Ephraim, who are from Yoruba, Nigeria, or let's say they're within the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Benai Ephraim, no, I mentioned that already. Lam Lam, which is in Timbuktu. Katsina, Nigeria. Safin Ibrahim, which is Malagasy Republic, and Igbo, which is in Nigeria. These are all a partial list of Jews that are in Africa, right? So my question here is, what happened to the other 20% of Jews, and what do they look like, right? In doing research, Judaism is the religion of the Hebrew people, the Hebrew and Israelites. right? What happened to that population of people and where are they? Now, I understand that the ancient Hebrews were exiled, but I also understand how people work. And when you exile a people, there are some that manage to escape and live on. What happened to that population? Where are they? And do they identify themselves as Jews? Okay. Granted, Whoopi again stated that race is something that she can see. So she mentioned the fact that if KKK was coming down the street and she was with a Jew, and they saw her and the Jew, the KKK would not be able to identify if the person walking next to her is a Jew, but they can definitely identify that she is a black person, as in to say she's definitely at risk of having her life being put in jeopardy, or her being attacked or harassed to some capacity, whereas the Jewish person may not have been. You know what I mean? But this all brings me to saying this back into the silver lining. Um, Being that we have the sect or sector of the EEJ Jews. Now I'm talking about the EEJ Jews because when I see people who identify themselves as Jews, they're all European, right? So I'm not speaking about the African Jews at this moment or the Hebrews, the Hebrews that were here before they've been exiled. I'm not speaking about those people. I'm talking about the EEJs, the Eastern European Jews. Um, Being that they identify as being a Jew and not identify themselves as their race and identity, leaves me to question this. Should we, as a nation, do away with identifying ourselves by our race? Now, I'm not saying that we should all take on the role of identifying ourselves by the religion that we live by, because a lot of people don't practice religion as a lifestyle, whereas the Jewish population, religion is their lifestyle. They've taken it on as a lifestyle, hence why um, identifying themselves as Jews. But let me ask this: why are the EEJs identifying themselves as a Jew and not by race? Why? And I think that's something that needs to be discussed. Hence why I said I believe that this should have been a teachable moment, because one thing I do know about the Jewish population is that you guys are not very open to explaining your Jewish history, and you're not open to empowering or enlightening people who misunderstand, may say things out of context, or may just say things that is not totally facts. And that is simply because, or majorly because, when it comes to the Jewish population, or even the history of Jews, a lot of it starts with the Holocaust. And a lot of times the Jewish population is very defensive and are ready to attack and just say whether a thing is or a thing isn't. And that's just not how you get people to understand you for who you are. I truly believe that when people know better, they actually do better if they choose to do better. Having said that, it makes better sense to teach people, enlighten people, try to work with other groups. When people of other groups work with you more, they understand your background more and understand you more, and then we won't have this great level of ignorance that exists when it comes to speaking about Jews or Jewish people. You know what I mean? Um, Therefore, Whoopi should not have been suspended from ABC because what she said was correct. And we don't know if Whoopi is actually a descendant of the ancient Jewish people. That's another thing that has to be discussed here and should be discussed, which I believe, which is why I say I think this is the perfect time to have this discussion. You know, um, we all know that the ancient Jewish people, or the ancient people who studied Judaism or lived by Judaism, were Hebrews. And we all know that they are people of a darker skin tone. They looked like me. They had curly hair. We all know that. So we should not be hiding that part of history. I truly believe that the world takes too much pride in silencing people and hiding certain aspects and certain truth of history. Now, it's okay that a person or a group of people decide to take on a religion and live by that. If that's what makes you feel comfortable, fine. It's okay. However, it is not okay to silence other people about the religion or the lifestyle. So, again, it's not something that was discussed, but Whoopi could very well be someone of Jewish descent. We don't know. I've never heard her had that conversation. She was probably never asked that in the open, but we don't know. We don't know. So maybe that could be what has and also influenced Whoopi's reasoning for saying that it's not about race, because she saw that the people Hitler killed were all of were all EEJ Jews. You know, so again, I just put this out there just to provoke some thought. And I want you guys to tell me what you think about this. And anything you post here, any comment that you post on this video, I'll upload another video or go live again and have a discussion on that. Let's keep the discussion going. But I am a firm believer of looking for the silver lining and looking for how we can be better as a people. And I truly believe this is one of the stages or gateways to becoming better as a people. So again, the question that I asked is, should we as a nation do away with identifying people by their race? Because the Jewish community does not identify themselves by their race. They identify themselves by their religion. Jewish are people who have incorporated the religion of Judaism. It is a religion, it is not a race or an ethnic identity. Let's talk. Peace.